Hello everyone, and welcome to my CBS Soaps official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Friday, October 24th, 2025. Today on The Young and the Restless, Claire questions Holden, Audra gets unsettling news, and Kyle grills Sienna. At Society, Billy tells Sally they should do their launch through a hot new social media platform in LA. Sally's enthusiastic. She has contacts there, and so does Audra. Billy warns that hiring her pal could be her first major misstep. They continue to debate about Audra, and Billy complains that Sally's trying to help out a friend who may not be qualified. He thinks she'll be more of a liability than an asset. She blew up the last two startups she was involved with. Sally's irked and reminds him she's running the show. Billy remains concerned. Does Jill know that Audra's part of the deal? Sally argues Jill should trust her to make hiring decisions. Billy warns she should let their investor know before she hires Audra. His mother won't like this whatsoever. Besides, he's fully committed, so she doesn't need her now anyway. Sally digs in her heels about hiring Audra, but Billy strongly suggests she run it by Jill first. Sally worries Billy is still thinking about Chancellor. Billy has pushed those feelings down. She fears they'll rear their ugly head again. Billy won't risk losing her again. Just then, Audra appears, ready to work on the relaunch. At the cafe in LA, Claire tells a confused Kyle that he doesn't have to go back to Genoa City. It touched her that he realized seeing Noah triggered feelings about her dad. It reminds her how close they were. Kyle assures her he'll never give up on them. Is she saying she doesn't want him to go? Holden shows up and Claire tells Kyle to do whatever he thinks is best when it comes to staying or going. She joins Holden, and Kyle decides to head to the shadow room to see what he can find out about his rival. Claire goes on about Holden being such a good friend. He tells her she brings out the best in him and questions her about Kyle. Claire shrugs that he's heading home. Holden senses she's not sure how she feels about that. Claire gives him the old "it's complicated." Holden understands why Kyle doesn't want to lose her. She's absolutely amazing. Claire claims she has yet to figure out what she wants. Holden makes a comment that suggests Claire should perhaps head back to Genoa City. She wonders if his change of heart about having her there has to do with whatever was going on between him and Sienna earlier. What were you arguing about? Is there a reason that you don't want me here? At the shadow room, Kyle finds Sienna complaining into the phone to Mitch that he was supposed to be home 2 days ago and pleading with him to call her back. As she disconnects, Kyle introduces himself and asks about Holden Novak. He's trying to keep him away from the woman he loves. Sienna guesses he's talking about Claire Newman. She tells him she's got nothing on Holden and wouldn't tell him if she did. Kyle's deflated to hear that Claire and Holden were vibing, but encouraged to hear that Novak's not the relationship type. Switching gears, Kyle asks her about Audra Charles. In Phyllis' room, she and Kane stand nose to nose after him, accusing her of stealing his AI. She asks, "What happens now?" He smirks. "That's up to you." Kane wonders if she'll try to kiss him in order to throw him off. Flaunting her lingerie, Phyllis purrs. That's crazy. They banter about whether she's lying, and he announces that she's going to help him find out who stole his program. Phyllis once again points the finger at Victor, pointing out that he threw him off of his game with Newman Media and then attacked. She suggests they confront him immediately. Kane still wants Phyllis to restore his image. He'll need her to hack into the Newman system and see if they have it. She thinks this is another test and complains the plan keeps changing. Kane fumes that someone stole from him. He needs Phyllis to work on getting the AI back while he distracts Victor. Phyllis demurs. Sure. Have I ever let you down in the past? Kane smirks. Billy and Sally maintain an awkward silence as Audra chatters on about the launch at Society. Billy warns her role in the company is in flux. Sally explains they have to run her hiring by the new investor first. Sally promises it will work out. At the cafe in LA, Claire asks Holden about the trouble he and Audra got into there. He insists that's all in the past. Claire senses he's keeping something from her. She wants to help and wants him to tell her what it is. Or should she just ask Sienna? Holden tries to deflect and then says Sienna knows very little about him and even less about Audra, though everyone knows she's trouble. In the shadow room, Sienna tries to blow Kyle off and suggests he head back to Genoa City. Kyle needs something to put Audra in her place. He senses there's bad blood between them. Sienna wants no part of this but seems swayed when he mentions protecting Claire. Just then, Sienna's phone rings. It's Mitch. She tells Kyle she'll give him something he can work with if he comes back tonight. In Phyllis's suite, she assures Kane he can count on her. He'll be in touch with their next move. She muses, I'll be ready and waiting. Once he's outside the suite, Kane pulls out his phone and asks someone to watch Phyllis and let him know every move she makes. Inside the suite, Phyllis texts Victor that they need to meet. It's urgent. At Society, the late afternoon sunlight poured in through the tall windows, catching the gold tones of the modern decor and adding a warm glow to the quiet corners of the restaurant. Sally Spectra sat at a sleek marble table with her laptop open, her red hair loose around her shoulders, and her expression determined and bright. Across from her, Billy Abbott leaned back in his chair, hands folded, giving her one of those looks, half supportive partner, half skeptical business advisor. They'd been on this discussion for what felt like forever. Sally was fired up. Billy was wary. It was a familiar rhythm. So, Sally said, tapping the table with her manicured nails, we need a hook, a fresh direction, a way to relaunch this brand so that it feels alive, current, influencer forward. I'm talking about a social media push that's not just promotional, but experiential. Billy raised a brow. And this hot new platform in LA is the answer? Yes, Sally insisted. They're pulling huge creator numbers. They partner with the right faces, and they push product into the right circles. And I have contacts. Audrey has contacts. It's perfect. That was the moment Billy's jaw tightened just slightly. Yes, he echoed slowly. Your friend Audra. The one who, just to name a few highlights, helped crash the last two companies she touched. Sally, you don't want her as your first major headline hire. Sally's smile thinned. Why? Because you don't trust my judgment? Billy shook his head. Because Audra is a lightning rod for chaos, and because you and I are building something together that deserves stability. I'm not saying no. I'm saying, think. I'm saying, talk to Jill. Sally's expression wavered. Jill Abbott, their investor, their backer. A woman who had opinions, power, and wasn't shy about applying both. Sally leaned back, arms crossed. Jill should trust me to make hiring decisions. Maybe she should, Billy said, but she doesn't. And if you want her to believe in you long term, you need transparency. Bring this to her before you lock it in. If nothing else, respect the chain of command. Sally was annoyed, but she was listening. Sort of. You still haven't let go of Chancellor, have you? She said quietly, unexpectedly vulnerable. Part of you is still there, even after everything. And if you can't leave it behind, eventually it comes back. You and legacy companies, you're addicted to them. You'll get pulled back in and I'll lose you. Billy blinked, hit by how sharply she cut to the truth. Sally, he said softly, I am not going back. I meant what I said. I choose this. I choose you. I am not risking losing you again. But before either could say more, Audra Charles walked through the entrance with a bright smile, confidence radiating like perfume. Ready to work? She asked, sliding into the seat beside Sally as though she lived there. And just like that, the air shifted. Meanwhile, in Los Angeles, the cafe patio was sunlit and buzzing with conversation. Claire Newman sat across from Kyle Abbott, the warm breeze catching strands of her blonde hair. Her expression was complicated, soft but guarded. You don't have to go back to Genoa City, she told him, her voice low, sincere. I know seeing Noah stirred things up for you. I know it reminded you of us and of the past, and I appreciate that you wanted to be here. Really? Kyle reached across, brushing his fingers against hers. Claire, I meant what I said. I'm not giving up on us. She gave him a small, sad smile. Then stay. Or go. Do what's right for you. I can't ask you to stay for me if you're unsure. Before he could respond, Holden Novak stepped up to the table. Kyle stood, jaw tightening. Claire rose too, slipping back into composure. I should get going, Kyle said, glancing at Holden, then back to Claire. I'll check out the shadow room. See what I learn. Holden watched him walk away, then turned to Claire. You sure that's what you want? Him leaving? Claire let out a breath. I don't know what I want. Holden smiled gently. Well, I can tell you what he wants. He doesn't want to lose you. Understandable. You are remarkable. Claire blushed slightly and then frowned. Funny, she said slowly. Earlier, you seemed really eager to have me stay here in LA, but now you're lightly encouraging me back to Genoa City. That feels like a shift. That feels like something happened. Holden's expression remained calm. Too calm. She asked, Does this have anything to do with whatever was going on between you and Sienna earlier? Holden stiffened, and that was the tell. Across town, in the shadow room, Kyle Abbott walked through dark, minimalist lighting and the low hum of lounge music. And there, leaning against the bar in a silk top and black eyeliner smudged in a beautiful, messy way, stood Sienna, arguing into her phone. Mitch, answer me. Please, she whispered. You were supposed to be home 2 days ago. Call me back. She hung up, took a breath, and Kyle stepped forward. Sienna? I'm Kyle Abbott. She gave him a once-over, confident, defensive, a little tired. Let me guess, she said. You're here about Holden. Everyone who walks through that door either wants something from him, owes him something, or wants to take something away from him. Kyle nodded. I want to keep him away from the woman I love. Sienna let out a short laugh. Claire Newman. Of course. Kyle's heart clenched, but Sienna's next words mattered more. Holden isn't the relationship type. Trust me, if there's something between them, he'll ruin it before it becomes real. Kyle's relief was real and messy, but then he pivoted. Tell me about Audra Charles. Sienna stiffened, and there was the nerve. You don't want to tangle with her, Sienna said, and I'm not giving you anything. Go home, Abbott. Kyle leaned in. Sienna, I don't need much. Something small. Something true. Something that keeps Claire safe. Sienna's expression shifted, softening. Then her phone rang. Mitch. she answered slowly. Fine, she murmured. Tonight. But only if you come back. Alone. Kyle nodded. Game on. Back in Phyllis Summers' hotel suite, the air crackled with tension and desire. She and Kane stood close. Too close. You stole my AI, Kane said softly, eyes locked with hers. Prove it, Phyllis whispered. Kane stepped closer, smirking. That's what you're going to help me do. Their banter was electric, dangerous. They talked Victor. They talked revenge. They talked access. But what neither said aloud was that they liked this dance. Too much. Kane finally stepped back. I'll distract Victor. You break in digitally and find my program. Phyllis nodded sweetly. Darling, have I ever let you down? He smirked and left. The second the door closed, Phyllis pulled out her phone and texted, Victor, we need to meet. Urgent. Outside in the hallway, Kane whispered into his phone, Watch her. Every move. Back at Society, Audra talked while Billy and Sally exchanged layered glances. Audra was confident, charming, strategic, a storm waiting for ignition. Billy finally said, Your role in this company is in flux. Audra blinked, caught off guard. Sally interjected, smoothing it over. We just need to run the hiring by Jill first. Standard procedure. Audra smiled, but something flickered behind her eyes. A calculation. A plan hatching. Meanwhile, in L.A., Claire pushed Holden harder. Tell me what happened between you and Audra here. Holden's jaw set, protective, wary, familiar. Whatever you heard, he said. Sienna exaggerates everything. It's old history. But Claire knew. He was hiding something that could change everything. And as evening fell, Kyle returned to the shadow room. Sienna waited, eyes rimmed red from unshed tears. Mitch, she said quietly, is missing. And suddenly, this wasn't about jealousy or romance. It was about someone in danger. And the one person who may know the truth. Was Holden Novak? Would Claire listen? Would Kyle reach her before Holden's charm pulled her deeper? Would Audra unravel Billy and Sally's partnership? Would Phyllis double play get her killed or crowned a queen of manipulation? No one in Genoa City or Los Angeles was safe now, because every secret was primed to detonate, and when it does, no one will see the blast coming. Thanks for watching if you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and don't miss any updates.